Say, alright, so first and foremost, and I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, but Hashem Yahushai, but Hashem Kodash. We say double on personal elders, agreements, and ruler teachers or personal truth. And we say salutations so they are coming to the push who do not truth and sincerity, day in and day out on the constantly in season of season with Shalom. And once again, going into a video here, and this is basically touching upon this post. Right, this was a post that was posted by Mr. Beast. You know, majority of the people who know Mr. Beast. Let's just say this is a person with a lot of money, right? So he said, ironically, because of all the new tariffs, it is now way cheaper to make our chocolate bars we sell globally, not in America, because other countries don't have a 20% tariff on our cogs, right? It said, by the way, we pay our farmers a living income, use fair trade, certified beans, etc. So I was already spending a lot on cocoa. A random price hike was pretty brutal, not gonna lie. We'll figure it out. I feel for small businesses, though, could really be a nail in a coffin for them, right? And let's also go down here. It's a Harder Chocolate Company on my show. Last week, they are already dealing with a cocoa crisis, as it's about 3 times, right? 3x, well, 3 times the price, right? They say cocoa doesn't grow in the US, so it isn't like you could even just pick a US farm. Right now, it goes to show how the tariffs would be affecting certain things, and especially food, which will go into like shortages and so on. And I don't know, these were the things that was already mentioned to happen, right? And was being talked about. No, you can also see that it affected like big businessmen like these guys, because he stated here, we'll figure it out. I feel for small businesses though could really be a nail in the coffin for them, and we could see where the small businesses, some of them are actually closing down, right? Some of them closing down because of the high prices and so on. Even though, as I say in these things, Trump said that he put a 90-day pause on the tariffs for countries, but excluding China, right? And we know saw China saying today that they are telling their banks to stop buy U.S. currency. So you're still seeing the two big global powers going at it, which will still cause certain things to hike, certain decrease in certain items. Now, when I read this, it goes to show how hard it is to be able to get certain food stuff, right, which will go into our famines, right? Now, let me bring a script here. It's the book of Matthew chapter 24, and I read from verse 7, right? And it say, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Matter of fact, let me start from verse 6. It say, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Yes, so all these things must come to pass. And we are continuing to say that, hey, things are not going to get better. I've been seeing, like, I've been continually watching the news, reading some of the comments, reading how, people are reacting to what it is going on, right? And majority of these people believe that, things going to get better, even though when he paused in 90-day tariff. Right now, the stock market was it was going down yesterday, but after when he noticed that it was actually crashing, right? He is Trump. He came out to say put the 90-day tariff, right? Which actually what it did, the 90-day pause on the tariff, what it actually did was skyrocket back the the stock market, right? It put it back on the green, right? Right, and I've been reading some of the comments from there. People saying trust in Trump. He had a plan all along. He's the greatest businessman, and that's what they believe. They really and truly think things are really going to get better, right? Things are going to get good, right? Let me see if I get something here quick before I continue. Peace. It's the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction going to come upon you all. Because that is the mindset you're going to be in, that state of where you'll believe everything is good. You understand? Nothing going to come upon us. That is how they're going to, that is things that they want to say, that things that they're going, that is the spirit they're going to be in. Right? So that way, say for when for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And as that part say, and they shall not escape. You're going to be in it. Plenty of you believe that you could flee from America and go somewhere else and nothing going to happen. No. It's like you run from a lion and you meet a bear. You run from the bear, and when you run in the house, you think it's safe. A snake bit you. Right? There's no escaping the judgment that's going to come upon this place. Right? So going back to the Matthew chapter 24, right? So you see, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right? And again, you see in the responses from people that are talking about the hike in prices. All these, as some of these people say in here, as this person say, they are already dealing with a cocoa crisis, like obviously shortages, so it have a high increase and so on, all these things, right? Trying to see if I find. Right, so continuing, let's see, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. So as I say here, and there shall be famines, and that is hey, you know what? That is what on the increase, because if you're keeping up with like the markets, you're keeping up with certain things, you would see they're already mentioning about the shortages of food, right? Even certain countries were telling their citizens to stock up, and also one or two brothers, to show man like certain visions that they get, where people was going into stores and they couldn't find anything, right? They couldn't find anything to eat, things wasn't even on the shelf. And as I said before, like if you're keeping up with what's going on, tariffs and all these things could cause that, right? Right, something else I was looking for. Alright, so as I say, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And again, we've seen that. We've seen nation against king. We've seen nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. We have seen that, right? We've seen America, China. We've seen Russia, Ukraine, Israel. We've seen all these things in the midst, right? Hey, we in that time, so I don't. People seeing the stock market, they turn back green and they start to get happy. I was watching somebody, as I said, reading some of the comments, seeing people sharing it, and I was talking about, Trump is one of the greatest businessmen. China played into it and all these sort of things that the pride that you saw, right? And even Jakes, like even when you read some of these comments, you see Jakes commented and talking about, the greatness of Trump, right? And to understand the things that's brewing up in the midst of them, right? The famines, the pestilences, the wars, the stuff that's coming onto them. You say, for all these are the beginning of sorrows. It's all these are the beginning of sorrows. You understand? All this is just the beginning, right? This is just the beginning. It are far worse to come. You see people start to panic. I remember in the heat of all the tariffs being thrown out, people are panicking because now they start to study where we going to get food, where we going to get the phones, and this. So some of them was even studying the food, right? They were studying that China and America into one, of China hold back, stop deliver the minerals, phone prices or them kind of technology would increase. Like a phone would be very expensive. We saw iPhone, I believe it was yesterday, iPhone sent 5 planes to take iPhones out of China, like full of 5 planes, because the price is going to increase, right? And if technology is going to increase, imagine what's going to happen with food. right? Imagine what's going to happen with food. So that's what I say. To my mind, when I was reading this, it come to my mind, famines. What also come to my mind is that these rich men going to be plagued. You know that money is not going to help anytime we're heading into, and that will go into another video. But hey, you're seeing like even these rich men talking about how tough it could be to get stuff to create the things that they want to do. Right? The shortages, the holdbacks, these things is happening in the midst of us. Continue playing and thinking it's a game. Now, no game, right? You're not in no peace and safety time, right? For the past few videos, this scripture has been coming out because this is what's brewing up. 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 50, right? It says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world." Right? Because they have walked in great pride. And I say, for many great miseries. And that's what's coming to you all, miseries. It's not going to be nice. So continue to watch your stock market and feel things going to be good now. Have a crash. Have a crash in the midst. Right? So, once again, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yoshai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. We say that when it's a person and Eloh's agreements and the Ruah teaches our person the truth, and we see salutations, so they are coming to the push with no truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season and season, we say, Shalom.